Okay, so today, I promised before we're going to work on Fallen Deaths and we're going to work on making the robot the big bad guy at the end of our stage. So we're going to work on making a robot from just a simple back and forth mook to an actual bad guy. He's going to have a big laser beam cannon shooting out of his chest, and he's going to also have a shield that blocks the player's shots. So hopefully we should have a lot of fun with this. So let's get started. Okay. So first off, what I want to do is right now, let me just quickly show you, this is the robot that we have right now. This one's only set for 1 hit point just for testing, but he just goes back and forth. And if you jump to the other side, he detects it and turns around. Doesn't do much. I just have him there for testing right now. But we also have one at the end of the stage. So for right now, I'm going to take this enemy soldier that's right here. If I can select them, there we go, and we're just going to remove the enemy soldier for right now, just because we just want to test with this robot going forward. So let's see, let's bring up this robot. There's our boss, robot boss. Here we go. Let's bring up his scene. Okay. So right now, all we have here, let's see, let's bring up his animation players. So I have these animations already pre-built. Like here's his shield. You can see it flickers on, flickers off. We have, the shoot that we currently use, where he actually shoots at the player. We also have the shoot on his chest, and then we have a shoot a death beam here as well, which is kind of hard. Let me just turn off these collision shapes so you can kind of see here. Collision shapes, collision shapes. There's one more. Here it is. Boom. So if you can kind of see his eyes glow, this is kind of like the warm up to warn you that it's about to happen. So what we kind of want to do here is we'll use this. It's only at half a second right now. I mean, that's not a whole lot of time, but hopefully it's enough for the player to realize that, hey, this guy is about to shoot. So what we want to do here is let me see here. So we got the movements, we got the animation. I have this player spotted, so he'll attack. I also have a player behind, which I may turn off this based on the shield, because right now if the shield's going to block any front shooting, then having the robot automatically turn around as soon as the player's behind him may cause a little bit unfair advantage to him. So the fun won't be there. But for right now, we'll leave that on, especially when we're going to test our shield. So let's see here. Let's start with... We have a shoot phase, a destroy phase. We want to start with the shield, or we want to start with the... Let's add the shield mechanic first. So let's start with this. Let's work through here. So what we want to do is we want to create a state where the robot activates the shield, puts it up to stop the player. So let's work on the state here. So we got idle, run, shoot, destroy. Let's add in do we want this to be a full state? Do we want the robot to stop and block while the player is shooting at them? Or do we want it to just be... Well, let's look at the animation. Let's see here. Shield. He actively raises his chest up. So, let's have him come to a stop whenever he detects that. So let's create a state for it. So let's add a child node. This is just going to be a node. We're going to call it shield. Shield. Okay. And then, let's see. Let's get our states here. Enemy state. Copy this. Attach a script to it. And let's see here. Enemy state. We got shoot, run, robot boss. Okay, so let's Again, we're not going too deep, so we're just going to call this one shield for now. So let's create the shield. We're going to replace all this. We're going to call this shield. And it's going to extend the enemy state. Okay. So these are already in there, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. So what we need to do... Oops. Shield. I don't want shield 1. There we go. Shield. So what we need to do is we need for the robot... well, first let's build the state, and then we'll worry about this. So we need to play animations and stuff like that. So let's look at how we formatted all these other ones. So we come in, we want to put the velocity to 0 because we want them to stop and hold up the shield. And then, yeah, let's just use this here. So what we're doing, so we come into shield, we come into ready, put this in. So we're setting his velocity to 0 so they stand still. A timer, this is how long the shield will stay up. Not sure if we want to just like have him block and just keep holding as long as the player's shooting at him, or if we just want it to be a temporary thing. Let's just do a temporary thing for right now. So if we go back here and we look at our idle, we do have this timer float. So let's go ahead and we'll just copy this over, bring that back into our shield. And this is our timer at how long we've been in the range. And then we have the state duration, minimum and maximum. Right now, I'm going to just remove these because our animation is only half a second long, so I'm just going to put that here. So even though it's doing a random, this is kind of worthless. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's just get rid of the random entirely. Let's just do it 0.5. So it's always going to be half a second long. We want to update the animation. The animation here is going to be called shield. Oops. If I can spell shield. Yep, right there. There's our animation. Okay, so when he enters the state's going to, we have to program in the logic to count the timer down. And then it's going to play the animation. You know what? Yeah, we don't need the timer because we can just play it until the animation ends. Okay, and then we can do enemy. Wow. Animation player. Animation finished. Connect. And then from here we can go to what should we call this function? We'll call it lower shield, just to make it easier. And then here, function lower shield, SHILD. Make this a void. Oh, I forgot. We do need one var here. We need a var next state, and state equals. Right now, we're just going to set it to null, and then should put that here in the ready as well. So then every time we enter this, we set the next state as null. And then here in the lower shield, we're going to do next state equals, most likely we want to do idle. Yeah, let's drop them into an idle. And so then what we need also here is on ready. We need a link to our idle state. Okay, so next state equals idle, and then in the process, we just have to return. Oops, we don't need to do that. We just return next state. Whoops, next state. There we go. And it's going to be null, so it's not going to return anything of any value. And then when we do set it to idle here with the lower shield, it should return the enemy state. So if we want to test it here, we can make it so after he shoots, let's make him, oops, we got to save this. Okay, and then after he shoots, we can have him raise up his shield. And let's see if this works. So he's going to find us, he's going to shoot. Nope, we have an error, vector 2. for velocity. Okay, let's see. What did we do wrong? Let's look at the idle state. Come in, animation duration after idle state. So what it's telling us here is when this runs on the ready, the enemy is not set up yet, so it's not actually allowing me to set the velocity. So why is it not letting me set up the velocity here? Well, you know what? Let's just take the, we'll just take all this. Copy this over. Go over here to our shield. Set all this up. Var next state. And it's an enemy state. Okay. Set that. Now it's an export variable. So if we go back over to our robot boss, we got shield. It's going to be after idle. After shield, we'll go back to idle. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. So we got that. We got the shield. Let's do the timer. So let's steal the timer. I hate doing this, but we want to make it work, and we're just kind of ham-fisting through this. So then in the process function, we can do return null here. Then we can do timer minus equals timer, no, minus equals delta. So underscore delta? Yeah, underscore delta. Okay. If timer is less than or equal to 0, return after idle state. Let's see if, oh, we got to set the timer here. Timer equals 0.5. There we go. Let's see if that is enough. Whoops, that's gonna probably error out on us. Well, it's still giving me the same thing. Enemy velocity is 0. Why is that not letting me set it? It's not letting me set the enemy. Enemy is set already. Oops. Hold my finger on the W key. That's not what we want to do. Let's see, enemy. Did we not define the enemy in enemy? Enemy state machine. Enemy state machine. Thought we would have defined enemy. Extends enemy state. Shield extends enemy state. In our enemy state, we have the enemy, so it's defined. I didn't misspell velocity, did I? Did I do something stupid? Let's see here. Enemy velocity. Yeah, right here. Enemy velocity. Let's try this. Let's go back to our shield. See if maybe I did something dumb. Save that. Why is enemy not working? Why is our state machine failing? That is a good question. This should be pulling in from the enemy state. Enemy state. The enemy state has enemy. Robot boss extends enemy. Let's just make sure it's not something stupid. Reload current project. Need to be more mindful of the actual output that's going to the stream, because you guys can't see some of the stuff that I'm troubleshooting here. Whoops. Wow. Totally getting everything here messed up in terms of sizing. There we go. Okay, so now we've reset it all. Let's see if shield's working now. Invalid access to property key velocity on base object. Cannot find enemy. Why can't you find enemy? Why can't you find the enemy? Oh. Okay. Figured out what I did. All of this, I put in the wrong function. This does not go in the ready function. This goes in the enter function. Okay. Simple mistake. Stupid, but simple mistake. Okay, let's see here. Here we go. So he's going to shoot. Okay, and then we've crashed. Let's see here. I cleared away the error here. 1 second. The error we got was it says non-existent function enter in base node shield. Okay, so if we go back over here to shield, well, let's look at idle first. Idle, we called it, make sure I spelled these right, enter lowercase. Let's look at shield. I did enter uppercase. Okay, so we want to make sure we enter and exit. There we go. That is probably a problem also in my enemy state. Yeah, I should put these lowercase. Enter, exit, process, and physics. I probably just broke a whole bunch of stuff, but whatever. Okay. So let's go back over here. Let's try this again. Shoot. Throws up the shield. Okay. And then he goes back into his idle state, and then he crashes. And he crashes because error call and signal animation finish. Lower shield. Arguments called with 0 arguments, but called with 1. Okay. So that tells us that on the animation finished on shield, because right here. This is going to send in, what does it send? It sends in a node of some type. Let's look at our other animation finish ones. Probably like shoot and stuff like that. Let's try to remember what type of object it sends in. Stop shooting. I have it /_a, so I'm assuming it's an area object. Yeah, so we'll go back here. We'll just add lower shield _a. We put the underscore in because we're just going to ignore it because we're not going to do anything with it. So let's try it one more time. Nope. Let's try it with the level instead of just the robot. Now he's going to shoot. He's going to raise the shield, lower the shield, and it's back into an idle state, but why is he not leaving the idle state? Okay. So let's go back in here. It's probably because of those changes I just made. Idle state, enter, exit, process. Is he actually leaving the idle state? That is a good question. Shield. Ah. Did I do something screwy? Let's go back over here. Shield. We are doing export values. I'll just use the 0.5 and 0.5. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we're hard setting the timer here. So these ones aren't even being used. Enemy velocity. Let's just put this back to vector 2.0. Animation finished. Lower shield. Let's make sure this is actually happening. Oh, wait. Is lower shield. Let's look at our animation. Lower shield. It's just a one-time thing, right? Shield is not a looping animation. Oh, it's actually a 1.5? Okay, it's a 1.5. Okay, so let's go back to our shield. So I have this wrong. So let's set this as a... Oh, you know what? We can get rid of the timer. Let's just get rid of this timer. We don't need the timer. That was back because I was an idiot and putting things in the wrong place. We don't need timer. We can just keep returning this. We don't need that. Okay, let's try this again. So now as soon as the animation's finished, he should drop back to idle. Oops, let's change over to our scene. He's going to shoot us, bring up a shield, drop the shield. He's not leaving the idle stage. Okay, let's go back here. Idle. After idle, should go to run. Idle, idle, idle. Let's look at the idle. Stays in idle 1 to 2 seconds. Okay, so instead of dropping him back to the idle stage, let's just drop him back to... Let's drop him back to the run stage instead. Run. Okay. Let's see. See if he keeps pursuing us here. Boom, boom. Shield. Drop the shield. Don't think he's leaving the... Okay. So let's start debugging and figure out why he is not leaving our shield state. Idle. Let's make sure. Process. Okay, so let's do... Yep. Let's go down here. Print. Lower shield. Let's see if we're even getting into this part here. Okay, so he is getting into lower shield. So we do see that right here. Boom. He is doing a lower shield. So we're doing lower shield. We're doing next state equals after idle state. Oh, because we're returning after idle state here, we're not returning next state. So easy to get. Whoops. Yep, this is right. Okay. So easy to get mixed up when you start doing things unless you pass. Boom, boom, boom. Shield. Return next state. After idle state. After idle state, we have it set up for. He should be returning run. Why is he not returning run? Let's just keep printing next state. Okay. And let's see what happens here. Boom. It's going to splash our screen with like. Oh, okay. I know what's happening. Because our process function in Shield is not running. So what we want to do is because probably if you look here, function process, let's go back to Shield. Because our process is capital P. We need these to be lowercase p or Godot will not execute them. Okay, here we go. Shoot, shield, start chasing. Shield, start chasing. Yeah. Then I have it set so he doesn't fall off. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we got the state working. Now we want to make a actual shield. So let's go into the animation for the robot. Animation player, we got a shield. Let's get to a frame where the shield is up. There we go. And then what we need to do is we need to add. I like to do it this way. I know a lot of people don't. I'm going to add this because it's only going to be active while this is here. So let's add a child node. Let's do an area 2D. Let's add a collision shape. Collision shape. We're going to rename this to shield. Let's call it energy shield, just to keep our names separate. Let's make this a rectangular shape. Okay, and then we're gonna put this right here. I'm just trying to think here. We want the bullets. We'll hit them right there. That should be. Let's make it a little bit. Try to kind of get it right in the center. Let's make this a little deeper. So what we want to do is we want the bullets to come in. They're going to hit this area, and they're going to just be null and voided. Let's double check though. Where is his hitbox? Okay, so there's his hitbox. So we're still exposing his head. We're still exposing his feet. So we are still able to shoot at him. So let's see here. So here's our shield. I mean, technically we only need it here, but that's fine. Okay. So if we do that there, then if he flips, where are we? Transform. Nope. What is it under? It is under. I thought it was under transform. Yeah, whatever. -1. Oops. Wherever the flip is. I don't remember now. Flipped. There we go. Oop. On and off. Okay. So flipped. Okay. So we got all that. Here's our energy shield. We're going to need a script, or we need to detect this. So let's see. Our bullets. The good guy bullet is, let's see, bullet scene. Our bullet hurt box is on 3. Okay. So when we go back to the robot boss, we need it to be listening. The energy shield collision, we need to be listening for layer 3. Okay. And then what we need to do, let's add a script here. Scrap energy shield, create the script. And let's see here. We got hurt box, unready, area entered. You know, it's saying if it's a hitbox, hit, emit, take damage. But it's not. There we go. So we call destroy, hitbox connect, and goes to destroy. Okay, so let's do. So let's add a hitbox to it. Actually, you know what we can do? Energy shield extends. How about if we do extends hitbox here? Extends a hitbox. And then let's look at our hitbox. So let's see. So we got signal damage, so that will be there. Hurtbox. Process. We want a function. Take damage. So if we come back over here, energy shield. Nope. Hitbox. Function take damage. So damage emit, hurtbox. We don't want, we're not going to actually take damage. So we come in here, let's see, the bullet comes in. If it is a hitbox, hit emit, the area, take damage, self. Okay, so then in our hitbox for the energy shield, we want to take damage. We'll take in the hurt box, we'll underscore it because we don't really care about it. And then we're going to just queue free on ourselves. Extends hitbox. We're just going to queue free if it takes damage. Okay, so let's just save this. We're going to turn on our debugger so we can see the collision shapes. What I'm going to do for testing purposes here is I'm just going to have him keep his shield up at all times. He's just going to constantly raise and lower, raise and lower, raise and lower while we test this. Okay. So right now, in theory, it's probably not going to work, but we'll see, is he'll just keep raising and lowering his shield on. Okay. So why did he not do, why is he not constantly raising and lowering his shield? Ready, oh, shield. Shield! Next state, when we enter is a null. Update animation, play it. Nope, we can get rid of this print statement. But it might give us an idea. It was null. He lowered the shield. We never changed the next state. Why did that happen? That seems very odd. Why is that happening? Let's see if we can do this again. We're here, he shoots at us. Lowers the shield, but doesn't go back into. Plus, his thing's right here. Why is this thing right there? Boom. Should be on him. Okay. So we got a couple things going on here. Let's figure out what's going on. So we got the shield on the robot. You know what? Let's take it off the state just so then we can kind of keep it attached to him. We got the energy shield. Hitbox. Let's see if our energy shield now when we reparent it, if it's in the right spot. Okay, so now it's in the right spot. But as soon as we shoot... Oh! Okay, so as soon as we shoot it, we're Q-freeing the shield. We don't want to Q-free the shield. So let's go back here to our energy shield. We want the hurt box. Or do we just want to pass? Because we don't need to do anything with the take damage. That should just stay there. Whoops. Helps if we select our test scene. Okay, so right now you can see here clearly the shield is up. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so we got the shield. We want to make sure that that's only up during the animation. That's easy enough to fix, but right now I'm trying to figure out why he's just not constantly going shield, 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 shield. So let's try to figure that out. We finish this. We lower the shield. We change it to the after idle state. We start off by setting next state back to null. You know what? I think we need to move this here. So we enter, we do all this, then we put that here. Let's try that and see if that makes a difference about our order of execution. I died? Okay. That was weird. Okay, so our order of execution doesn't seem to have affected things. Okay. What is preventing us from... Well, let's do a different way here. Let's do on the robot. Let's put him after shield. Let's throw him back into idle. After idle, let's put him into shield. That's why he never shoots at us. All he does is shield, shield, shield. The idle state is only 0.1 seconds, so there should be just a brief delay between what's happening here. Shield, shield, shield. Okay. Okay, So now what we need to do, let's go back over here. Let's get into our robot boss. Let's get into our animation player. Let's get into the shield where we are here. Okay. Oh yeah, hey, we forgot to disable the... You know, let's fix that now before I forget. So, I'm going to go here into the lower shield. Let's do animation player finish, disconnect. Okay, so we can get rid of that. Okay, then let's go back here. We're talking about our animation player. So what we want to do is we want to add in an animation for our shield. So let's go down to our energy shield. We're nothing's monitoring us, but it is... No, wait, we want monitorable, not monitoring. Okay. So let's go into our animation here. And let's see, we don't have a shield, don't have a shield. Oh, you know what? Let's go here. Let's turn off. We'll just disable it. Okay. And then let's keyframe that. Come on, system, you can do it. Okay, and then we're going to scrub over here. We're going to look at our animation. There. Okay, let's insert a keyframe here. And then we want to... So it's going to go there. And it's going to be enabled. And then it fades out. So right about there. Insert a key, and we're going to disable it again. So if we look, oh, we forgot to, that one needs to be there, this one needs to be disabled. There we go. So now, okay, so we got that. So now we can't shoot him while the shield's up. Let's give him, let's go back over here. This is robot boss number 2. I think this boss I gave more hit points to. Enemy stats, let's see. The final boss I gave 20 hit points to. This first one I only gave 1. Let's set him back to 20, and let's give this a quick test. Now you'll see there we go. So eventually we can shoot through them, but we have the shield in the way. Okay, so we got the shield working, the shield's toggling. We can see that it's blocking shots. Okay. So that's great. What we need to do now, though, is we need a way to detect whether or not we want to trigger our shield. We don't just want to go, I'm just going to stand there. So we should detect the bullets. So let's see. We have on the robot boss, we have this ray right here. And this is a, where is it here? Player spotted. And then, so this is listening on layer 2. And let's see, our bullets are on, layer 3. Okay, so let's make a new how we want to do this. Because a raycast would be great if the bullets come in level. But if they're not, what we want to do is we want to detect anything in front. So let's kind of use this player spot as an idea. But let's do another area 2D. Where's my shield? Energy shield. Here we go. And so that's our energy shield. We want one more. add child node. Let's add an area to D, and let's call this one incoming shots. Incoming bullets. Incoming bullet detector. DTECTR. There. Incoming bullet detector. And let's add that. Let's add a collision shape. Okay, let's make this a rectangle. Rectangle, okay, and let's put that right in front of the shield. So let's do it here. Okay, and then this is going to be on collision mask 3. No, layer 3. Okay. No, wait, it wants to... Okay, let's think about our bullets here. Here's our bullets. Our bullets exist on layer 2. Okay, so this one, what we want to do is we want this to monitor for layer 2. We don't care about being monitorable because this has nothing to do with the bullets. If a bullet comes into this, we need to trigger the shield being raised. So we're going to monitor for layer 2. Okay, so that should work. This should say, hey, when the bullets come in, that's should light up. Okay. So what we want to do then is, let's go back here. Let's do idle. Instead of shield, let's just keep our robot in idle state. And then what we want to do in the idle state is we need this incoming bullet detector. So let's put this here. Boom. Okay. So what we want to do is in here. Just trying to think exactly what we want to do. So we're in idle, in process. Players behind. Turn around. So if we want to do if incoming bullet detector dot area entered dot connect, and then we want to do raise shield. Oops, raise shield. Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna make a how do we want to do this? Because if we make it like a stun state where it automatically detects something's happened and then triggers that state, then that's going to interrupt our beam cannon. We don't want the beam cannon to be interrupted, so we just want the shield to come up during shooting and movement. Shooting, movement, and idle. So we're going to have to add this lines of code to those states. We don't want to come up on the beam cannon. We don't want to come up on the death or destroy, as I've called it here. Okay, so this is what we want to do. So if our incoming bullet detector area entered connect. Let's move this out of here. Let's put this in the enter. Incoming bullet detector area enter connect raise shield. Okay, and then when we leave this state, we want to disconnect it because we don't want to keep listening to it when we leave this state. So let's do a function raise shield, SHIELD. Okay, and let's see here. So what we want to do here is did I misspell raise shield? There it goes. Oh, I did. IELD. Oops. IELD. Wow. Good. Spelling. That's my specialty. Okay. So we got that. We got the raise shield. Let's see. So then when we're in the raise shield function, we actually want to return a state. So we want to do after idle state. We want to use the next state because we don't want to change the value of what our default after idle state is. We just want to do a next state. So var next state. We'll just set that to null for right now. Actually, you know what? We'll just do. It's going to be an enemy state, and then in enter, we'll do next state equals null. Whoops. Equals null. So when we enter, the next state will be null. We do have the timer in here, so if the timer is down, return after idle. So this will be next state. If it's after, we're going to do next state equals, oops, state equals after idle state. Okay, so then here, this will be next state equals shield. And we need to bring in a reference here to the shield state. There we go. So then we'll return the shield state if a bullet is detected, or else it's going to sit here idle. Okay, let's try this. Let's see what happens. So a robot should sit there idle, not do anything. As soon as we shoot at it, should trigger his shield state. Did not. Okay, so we're getting errors. The debugger, I think. Okay, it didn't go away, so you guys can see this. Okay. Incoming bullet detector, node not found. Oh, okay, did I move it? Incoming bullet detector. I was not talking to you. Okay, so let's see here. Shield relative. Okay. Okay, so foolish mistake on my part. I am going to copy everything here, Control C, and then I'm going to remove a lot of stuff that I just did. Is that everything I need? Okay. Okay, we're going to leave this here. I'm using the same idle script for the enemy soldiers, as you can see here, and this turrets and everything else, instead of a separate one for the boss robot. So I'm going to do this. I am going to save a copy as. I'm going to call it robot idle. Robot idle. Save. Then I'm going to redo everything here. And up here, I'm going to call this robot idle. Okay. And then on boss robot on idle, I'm going to attach the robot idle script. Okay. The other thing we have here is we're calling the connection again with, where's the robot idle? We're calling the ray shield. You need to pass in the area so it works. Okay. So save this. Let's try this again. F6. We shouldn't be getting any errors in our debugger. Debugger is nice and clean. Okay, so we're shooting. We're gonna kill the robot because he's not raising his shield. Okay, let's figure out why that is not happening. Why are we not triggering the raised shield? I already believe I know why. Our idle state right now, if we go back in here, our idle duration is 0.1 second. So there's a pretty good chance that we're probably switching states and not able to detect it because we're turning on and off the thing. So I'm going to set this back to one randomly between 1 and 2 seconds, and then we're going to give it another try and see what happens here. Okay, so that theory was incorrect. Let's see what else we got here. So let's see if we're even triggering this. So let's go back in here to our robot idle. Ray shield. Let's see if we're even coming into this print. Raise shield. Okay. Let's see here. Level 1 robot idle. Raise shield. Let's give this a go. Hey, look at that. We got a shield coming up. And it is blocking. Okay. But I think our detector's probably not... Okay, let's do this again. And let's pay special attention to when the bullet enters that zone and how fast the robot raises his shield to where he's going to block it. Because I think right now what's happening is by the time we trigger the animation to where the shield's viable is too late. So the bullet's already getting by the time the shield comes up. So let's pay special attention to that right now. Okay, so it comes up, we shoot, and it hits him. Yeah. It says he's raising the shield, but we are not seeing that animation. Why did we see it last time and not this time? Yeah, see, now he's doing it. And it's definitely triggering. So what we want to do, let's expand this bullet detection area. So let's go back over here. Incoming bullet detector. Let's make this, here's our player detector where he's going to detect the shoot. So let's give it a lot more area and see how well he does. See if maybe this helps fix our problem. And we are still able to... Okay, so something is now broken because now he's not raising his shield anymore. Raise shield. It says he's raising his shield, but he's obviously not raising his shield. So let's see here. Raises the shield, still takes damage. Raise shield, take damage. Raise shield, take damage. Well, here, look, we got a couple here where he raised the shield and didn't take any damage, so that's good. But those seem to be few and far between. So we are attempting to raise the shield, but why is it not actually doing it? Okay, so let's go back to our script and let's think about this for a moment. So we enter, we call the raise shield. Next state is shield. You know what I would like to do, but I want to kind of keep the timer present. It's because if we remove the timer, if we leave the timer alone, the timer is always going to be, the next state's always going to be null if we just never Right now, if we never count down the timer, let's just see what happens here. We never count down the timer, so we may have some state conflicts. So there we go. Raises the shield, raises the shield. He's still taking the damage, so we may have to expand out the actual shield. It is still late. Yeah, so I think we're gonna have to trigger that sooner still. So let's look at. Let's go back into our animation for the robot, and let's adjust our 2D. So we come in here. We have it right now set, so it's 0.2 seconds before it becomes active. So how about instead, let's just make it active right off, even though it's not visible. So it's just going to be active right off, and then it fades away. Active right off, fades away. I mean, it seems a little weird, but let's see how it works here. We're trying to prevent our boss from going down too fast. So here, I've hit him 3 times so far. There's 4. So there is a little brief window. So let's see here. Boom. Yep. Boom. Yeah, so this works better. So it looks like what we were experiencing before in the script was in the idle. Robot idle. Here we go. We were transitioning because here we're setting it to shield, but then if the timer was down, we were changing it from shield to. So why don't we do this? Let's keep the timer in place so then we can still keep our idle state being in the right place. Timer's less than 0, and then but let's just have a check here. So if next state is null, then we can do this. If next state equals null, then we'll set it to the after idle state. If not, we'll return like the shield state. So let's try this now. We have the timer back up. This should in theory work, and if it does, we can drop our idle back down to 0.1. But let's take a look. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Okay, so that's working better. Let's go back here. Let's go back into our idle state. Let's put this to 0 and 0.1, which is what we had before. This should not affect the results we just saw. So let's take a look here. Make sure it's working properly, because we're using the idle as like a transition between moving and shooting and all that stuff. So we do this, boom, boom, boom. It should be about 18, yeah. So that's working good. Okay. So now we have, if he's idle, he'll raise his shield. We need to do it for moving, and we need to do it for if he's shooting, if he's doing the shoot phase. Actually, you know what? Let's not do it in the shoot phase. The shoot phase, because he's going to leave himself unprotected. He's not going to pull up his arm to block a shot if he's in the shoot phase. So let's see here. Run. Our shoot phase is not very long anyways, because if we go back here, look at our animation player, if we look at shoot, it's only half a second long. So not a big deal. So let's go back here. Let's go back into our idle phase. What we're going to have to do, just like we did with the idle here, is I'm going to have to take this move phase, this run. We're going to copy the entire thing. We're going to do, let's see here, save as, and we're going to call it robot run. Okay. And then here in robot run. Okay. And then we're going to attach robot run here. Okay. And then we're going to steal from robot idle the shield and the incoming bullet detector. Let's go put those in here. Boom. Okay, and then we also need in the process function. Let's grab this ray shield. Copy this. Let's go put that down here at the bottom. Boom. Here's our ray shield function. And then we also need in the ready, we need to connect this, the incoming bullet detector. So here in our ready, not ready, enter, we're going to put in our incoming bullet detector. On the exit, where's the exit? Exit, here we go. We're going to disconnect this detector. Okay, we do need the reference to the shield, which we have here. I don't know why that's flagging as... Oh, because I don't have next state. Okay, so we're going to go down here. We're going to do var next state. Okay, and we're going to set that as an enemy state. And then on the enter, next state, state is null. Okay. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. In process of timer, return after move state. Let's do if next state. Oops, we need double equals here. Double equals null. Then return after move state. Right? Oh, colon. There we go. If next move state is not set already, return the after move state. Return the after move state. Okay. Else return next state. There we go. Okay, so that, oops, I gotta put colons. So used to PHP and not paying attention to this. Okay, so we have the ray shield. This should work now if he's moving. So let's go ahead and try this. Let's turn off his player detector for right now, though. So we have the bullet detector, but let's turn off the player detector so he doesn't start shooting at us. Player spotted. There we go. Let's disable that for a moment, and we will test this. Let's see. So now, while he's... Oh, I may not have told him to move. I did not tell him to move. Let's try this again. Boss, idle. After idle state, go into the run state. There we go. Okay. Okay. So now he should move around. And he's not going to shoot at us, because even though he detects us... Okay, so... Okay, so that's working, but not quite the way we want it to. Let's figure out why. Let's see here. Well, first off, let's look at our player, because he seemed to pull up his shield when he saw the player. So let's say player ourselves. We are in layer 2. Okay. So maybe layer 2, our bullets are in layer 2, huh? Bullets are in layer 2. We should probably change our bullets to be in a different layer. If our player's layer 2, walls are layer 1, bad guy bullets are 3, we should probably put our bullets to 4. Yeah, let's not worry about it for right now. Let's just go back over here. Okay, so when we were running through here, we're shooting ray shield, shoot, ray shield, but still got hit. Ray shield, still got hit. We may need to expand his bullet detector here. Let's see, right now it is... Where is our size of it? Is it this? I don't remember. There we go. Let's set this up for 150. Whoops. 150 picks. Let's do 140. That works. This might be too soon now. Now he might actually be lowering the shield by the time the bullet actually gets there. And now we've messed up. We can't get to him. Okay. Yeah, I think this might be a little too much. Let's turn off the player behind, just because it's kind of throwing us off here. Robot boss, player behind, which I kind of figured I would do when I've made him into a boss. Right now, it was just kind of a hack way to make him a little bit more challenging. Whoops. Let's try that again on level 1. There we go. Let's try this. Okay. A little late there with the shield there, bud. So let's say boom. Okay, let's try this again, but we're going to have to blow up the bridge so that he doesn't walk away. There we go. Now we can keep him here on this for troubleshooting. Wicked late on that. Okay, we'll have him turn around. Very late. Very late. Okay, so let's take a look at our move script. Let's see here, robot move, or robot run, I think I called it. Yep, there we go. Okay, let's see here. Checking the attack, checking the timer. So let's see here. Enter the state, set up this. Minimum, maximum. What's our minimum, maximum by default for this? Between 1 and 2 seconds. Okay. Timer minus equals delta. If timer is less than... Oh! Okay. So what we're doing here is he's not returning the shield state until his timer runs out. Okay. So we don't want that. We want to return next state. So let's see here. Let's do copy. We're going to just return this null to a next state. There we go. So, yeah. Okay, this should help. Let's try this. This should make him bring up his shield much faster. There we go. Yep. Okay, so let's get over here. Just gonna flip around. Oh, let's blow up the bridge. Yeah, blocking most of the shots. 1 or 2 get through. Okay. Okay. So that's working. Let's turn back on his shooting. So let's see if he can detect us, and he'll start shooting. So let's go back over here. Player player spotted. Let's re-enable this so then he can shoot us. Let's see, what else do we want to do here? We may want to expand that, just because if this is his incoming, okay, actually let's bring that back down, because I think that's going to be a little too far for the incoming bullet detector. Let's bring it back down to about here, and let's try that. Let's see how this works. Okay, so that blocks. Blocks there, boom. Shoots at us. Brings up a shield. Yep. And then this prevents us from doing that. We can get behind him, and he definitely can shoot. So let's do the player behind. We'll turn that back on. So now this will be a real pain in the ass to shoot. Let's see here. Player behind. We'll re-enable this. We'll give this a go. Let's see how this works out. Ah! He's almost impossible to jump over here. You can keep shooting at him here. He's going to try to shoot at us. Shoot at us. Shoot, because we're in the thing. So we can defeat him. He's not too hard right now. We can just keep kind of peppering him there. But when we add in that center chest beam attack, that's just going to say, boom, and just take out people. So I think, for right now, I think this is a good spot to leave this. And then I'll come back, and the next live stream, we'll add in that center chest cannon. Just to kind of give you an idea here, we have a death beam sprite. So if we want to bring these up, you can kind of, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. Wow, my mouse so precise. Yeah, can't really zoom in on it, but we've got this, the beginning of the sprites, and then we have the actual beam cannon sprites themselves. So it's going to create like a chest beam, and it's just going to have an origin sprite that kind of gives it the little rounded curve, and then it's going to be a straight shot right through across down the stream, and then we'll probably go off screen with it, and we'll have a nice big sound to it. So we'll get to it next time, but I hope you enjoyed working through this. You can see there's a lot of trial and error, a lot of stupid parts on my thing. You know, not stupid, but easy to overlook, like putting the functionality in the ready instead of the interstate. Things like that happen, and sometimes it's just thinking through. You got to talk it out loud and do all that, and hopefully this is some use. And if you like it, come on back, and we'll do this again probably tomorrow.